like this was how this was different from this, right? So this is questions 1 through 3, 4 through 7. Yeah, it's
Pretty, like I said, it's pretty.
Okay, we're starting.
This
This is a prop. My phone is a prop right now.
Okay. So we're ready to go then? Somebody want to introduce this future cities? Start the timer, Max.
Okay. Wow, this city is cool looking. Whoa!
Oops, sorry there, ma'am.
Oh, that's fine. Will you help me take a picture of this beautiful building?
You know, I oversaw the construction of that building.
Really?
Yeah, we built it with lots of care and technology.
Tell me about it.
First of all, our buildings use futuristic improvements. For example, we use solar paint, which gathers energy for said buildings, along with other very useful improvements, such as actually replanting trees after we cut them down to build the frames of said buildings. Also, for the elderly and or disabled, we have put in place ramps and or fully functional elevators, which are mandatorily functional at all times.
Wow, that's a little weird, but awesome.
But wait, there's more.
Oh.
Due to the hard work of structural engineers working 6-day work weeks, doing existential planning, beautiful buildings like this one, for example, are possible. Anyway, I need to get back to the job site. Bye.
All right, well, it was nice talking to you. Whoa! Oh, yeah, I'm just touring.
Have you been to the mall yet? They have great stores that really boost the economy. There's also some seriously good restaurants. Have you been to Panda Garden yet?
No, I
Yeah,
haven't.
the best food and all pretty good.
For you?
Their food is chemical free, like just like all food from the restaurants in the city.
Well, thanks for telling me about that. I was just going to lunch, but I think I'll go there now. Oh, bye. Oh, oops, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. Are you okay?
Yeah, it happens all the time. My mom says it's because I'm really short. Anyways, would you like to hear about the amazing parks here in Cleveland?
Sure. Why not?
My friends and I always play there. There's always a first aid kit in reach, so in case you get hurt, you can heal up and keep playing. Also, the green space in the park supplies the neighborhood with some fresh air as opposed to wildlife. The low transportation costs here in Cleveland make it easy to get there and other places. I love it here.
Wow, that sounds fun. What are the schools like here?
Well, they're quite environmentally friendly. All the schools are powered through solar and wind power. They also have elevators for the disabled and elderly. Well, I gotta go.
All right. Well, that sounds like a great place. I think I'll check out one of those great parks. Wow, this sure is awesome. This is cool. Oh my. Oh my. Wow. I'm sorry. I just keep running into everybody today for some reason.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's good. Glad that's fine.
You know, this grass here is pretty cool, especially bred to be softer and allergy-free.
Oh,
That way it cushions children's falls. Also, these wonderful trees here are oaks and aspens, which are bigger, leafier trees, so they produce more oxygen than most.
huh? You know a lot about trees.
Yeah, but that's not all I know a lot about. I know a lot about the environment and what harms it. For example, certain energy resources like coal and fossil fuels are really bad for the environment. But now we use solar and wind power, which is way better.
Wow, Cleveland seems much better than where I live. I'm thinking about moving here. Where do you live? Detroit.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
came here to admire the detail and technology
Maybe
put into
the
these
lobby.
things.
I just thought it would be kind of cool. I mean, they do give me energy on my phone. The least I could do is check them out and learn more about them. This city is so cool. You know what? I'm moving here. It's decided. Yay, I can help you find a home.
I can help you design said home, if you'd like.
I'll show you the best places to go hiking and everything environment related.
I can't wait. Okay, that's so
Woo!
good.
Hey, crazy.
Come on down to Cleveland town. I did it.
Okay, what's that? Stop that. Alright,
Okay.
questions.
Okay.
And you're here now.
Question time?
Yeah,
You want some time to go through, or are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have some.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, here's a question to ponder as we're going through this. I'll take it right from the top. How do you fund city operations, like your infrastructure, your utilities, and your public services? How is that funded?
Basically, we kind of taxes like we do now, and we save our money. Savings.
Yeah, we also raise taxes
By
0.05%.
billion.
So were the taxes used to build the Hyperloop?
Yeah.
Straight taxes?
Mainly, yes, we also install trailers.
Max, can't hear you, brother.
Mainly, sometimes we have like fundraisers to help the construction.
Okay, very well.
Can you talk a little bit about the Hyperloop? What's the purpose of it? How does it work? What's the?
The purpose of it is to get around quicker and easier around the city. It's a high-speed transportation system that
Well, it can take you from Cleveland to Cincinnati in 27 to 37 minutes.
about
300 miles in 30 minutes?
Nice.
How do you guys set up your city with zoning? What are some of the districts you have in your city?
Well, right off the Hyperloop, of course, we have the downtown area for people who are coming in, and if they have a job here, it's much easier to access.
And then residential is in the middle of commercial and industrial, so it's easier to get from place to place. Like if you have a job over here, you can easily get over there, or if you work at a factory, you can easily get over there, but it's not close enough that it would be disrupting to the neighborhood.
And of course, finally, there is the actual industrial area, which is separated by a primary road, as or clearly separate the zones so that there isn't any mixing of the zones, since that can cause internal pollution from contamination. So on the very end, we separated each type of power into its own location. Here is the wind, the substation, which controls the input and the allowed outflow of said power, and then finally on the end is the solar farm.
They're the full sparkling buckets, yes.
Were there any trade-offs that you needed to address at all? If you wanted to put something in, but by doing so you had to...
Yeah, with using the alternative energy, because all these cars that we had when we started redoing this, there were so many people who were dependent on fossil fuels. Change has been really, really hard.
what's your most proud aspect of your city? What do you really want to hang your hat on?
I would probably go with the Hyperloop, considering that the construction and development of technologies that primarily rely on alternate energy sources while also being able to move at high speeds with only one form of propulsion. That is why we are proud of it, because it is a unique structure that if the city does not have a stable source of income that it can keep pumping into its construction, which also leads into the fact that it's a very costly building to maintain due to the fact that it has these openings here, which is where transfer lines are. And due to the fact that this goes in a straight line and doesn't have any stops in between, there has to be a either solid decrease or increase in speed to prevent derailing when transferring to another line.
And I know Max's favorite part will be the stadium.
Who plays in the stadium?
The Cavs and
That's it.
not the Browns, because they didn't survive.
Okay, all right, good, perfect.
Very good, guys.
Excellent job, everybody. Good job, Paul.
Enjoy the rest of this.
Thank you. She says, Claire.
Here, I'll give you your sweatshirt back. Got my sweater for that one. Looks good.
Oh, and that's all green too, and blue. Wouldn't matter. Oh, well.
Yeah, all the groups have green except for one.
Yep. No, we tried. All right, guys. What do you feel? Okay,
I wanted to say that Springer during it, but I'm like, don't say anything.
now we have one student. We can hardly hear her. So we're going to have to listen really hard.
Watch out. Use this. Coming in. You have it set up? Would that still block off the other audio?
They're all going to have to use the microphone.
Okay. Is that good? Okay, y'all are gonna have to talk in.
Go underneath the table. Good call, Jim.
Testing, good? We're good? Okay. We got okay.
Are you guys
Just put on the
Age friendly. You guys probably don't have to do it about, but you have to check in.
How is it working? How's it not working? I think it can't be tilted off.
What's wrong with it being tilted up?
Well, it's not.
All right, here we go.
I'll just swap to 2, I guess. Reconcino. Reconcino. Reconcino.
Riconcino?
Yes, use the microphone to speak up.
Loud.
Okay.
How do you spell that, Jack?
R-E-C. Okay, you guys spell it because I didn't. Yeah.
RECINNO.
Gotcha.
Ready? Let's start.
Remember, Ray, you gotta speak loud, alright?
You guys ready?
The city of hope, of happiness.
100 years ago, the city, East St. Louis, was a mess. It was full of crime and poverty, with a few stoplights and one rundown hospital. Now a bright, vibrant city, Reconcino, is a prime example of no matter how bad things get, there is always hope for the future. The city has, against all odds, transformed into a brilliant city with rich culture.
Reconcino now has an excellent healthcare system with their large hospital complex. This complex consists of housing for elders and a central hospital easily accessible by all. It also includes a senior college which provides classes to elders at a low cost.
The hospital complex combines a hospital, nursing homes, activities a normal senior center would have, all in one. It is inexpensive to live in, and with lounges on each floor, a garden outside, and and the elderly college, the seniors won't be lonely. The homes include everything a normal apartment would have.
The apartments are structured like hotel rooms. Because I'm starting to have difficulty in my movements, my bathroom has a walk-in bathtub, grab bars, non-slip floors, and an emergency button. I also have another assistance button in my room, along with a radio tuned to the news station. I also have a television with basic shows that I want, if I want to borrow a movie from the library. All the doorways are wide enough to get my walker through.
There is also kitchens on every floor. During meal times, there are chefs in there, but there is also any other time seniors can make themselves a snack or a meal. The elevators are moving walkways everywhere so that all elders can get around easily.
I have everything I might have in my own home in this complex. Life here never gets boring. Every day the complex's Magna Car shuttle takes trips to different locations in the city, such as the museums in the downtown area, and sometimes even to neighboring cities. On weekends, the shuttles also provide transportation to local churches and farmers markets.
People with disabilities or illnesses also get their own personal assistant to help them with everyday tasks. Wow, no wonder Grandma likes this place so much.
I am proud to be a part of the Reconcino community. There are new things popping up and around here each and every day, and the many parks around here really give all the residents a great place to exercise and get to know each other.
The fast-flowing Mississippi River is a great source of power for the city. Innovative dams allow fish and sediments to flow through while still producing sufficient power for the whole city. Located here. There is also multiple solar panels throughout the city through the city are activated during Reconcino's hot and muggy summers.
If we walk around Reconcino, we can tell the city really has progressed over the last century. From afar, we can see the grand villas, which consist of apartments on the upper floors and recreational facilities below them, and community gardens on the rooftops. These structures also have moving walkways and multiple elevators so anyone can get around in them. All residents in Reconcino love these spectacular additions to the city.
I'm starving. Can you recommend a place to eat around here?
Of course, both the downtown blocks and Broadway have many wonderful restaurants. But to get there, we need to take the magnet car, run magnets underneath the streets of Riconcino. These cars produce no pollution and are energy efficient.
During the ride to the downtown from the Mississippi River, we passed by the hospital complex with seniors laughing and talking in the parks nearby. Then, to the left, we can see a pollution tower. This tall tower acts like a mass of trees. It sucks in carbon dioxide and produces clean oxygen. This makes sure that Riconcino is a city without pollution.
You might be wondering how we funded this huge project. We got donations from both citizens in nearby cities. Big companies who donated money to the project got a decrease in taxes and some free advertisement. We also received some money from Washington, D.C. to fund part of this project.
Looking into the restaurants, we can see that food in Riconcino has also changed. Riconcino citizens eat many of the same foods as citizens a century ago did, but there have been some changes. A century ago, Americans ate on average 9 ounces of meat per day. Now that Earth has a population of 10 billion people, farmers do not have enough space to produce such a large quantity of meat for such a multitude of people. In turn, that time, space, and energy will now be devoted to growing healthier crops, fruit and vegetables.
There are plenty of farms nearby Riconcino that provide these crops, like Green Acres and Loman Farms. Popular fruits eaten by Riconcinians are pineapples, grapes, kiwis, mangoes, apples, blueberries, and grapefruits. Popular vegetables eaten by Riconcinians are cauliflower, broccoli, and carrots. Another result of the less meat production in the city is increased dairy production. Although Riconcino has a few farms outside the city borders that provide Riconcino with essential dairy products, most of the city's dairy supply comes from farms in southern Wisconsin.
In Riconcino, we also have a great elementary, middle, and high school all in one. We also have multiple community and technical colleges.
Wow, Riconcino is really a great city. I think I'm going to join my grandmother and move here. 2 months later, when I sit on the roof of my new villa and look at the streets below, I now see a beautiful modern city, with my grandmother's home, the hospital complex to the west, and many museums and restaurants to the east. Riconcino is a friendly place for all ages. Both me and my grandma love living here. Riconcino truly is a city of hope.
So come to Riconcino. We welcome everyone and everything in this bustling, happy city.
This is our future city.
Perfect time.
5 seconds. Oh, that was actually.
Can you guys talk a little bit about what age-related challenge you guys addressed?
We address the age-related problem of loneliness, and the hospital complex is designed to bring elders closer together. The villas also serve the same purpose.
The villas will also help for a lot for kids as well, since a lot of kids, they go home and then they don't really have a way to get over to their friends' houses, or they don't really have a lot of friends who live nearby because their parents are at work. So this is kind of something that as well kind of happens with us as well. So it's kind of a matter of having there's this which a ton of kids can live in with their families. That way it's really easy. And then these villas also have a bunch of recreational facilities for kids to, do whatever they want in.
Did you say it was from the hospital?
Oh, this is our SkyTram. It's pretty much just a way for people to get easily to the hospital from the school. This is the school right here.
So what was that a pollution?
Okay, so they have one of these that I believe are in Tokyo. Is it Tokyo or it's somewhere in China? And the idea is the fact that you can use this to take in the CO2 because there's so much pollution. It takes in the CO2 and releases oxygen on a very big scale. In that way, it's not like we have to have a ton of trees everywhere, which it's still nice to have trees. But since it's 100 years in the future, we're expecting that a lot of our fuels have been depleted and there's so much just smog in the air to the point where you need a way to clean it. So this is both to clean the air, and it also has solar panels along it to power.
Okay, so it has the solar panels and So what are the structures next to it with
Those are our industrial facilities as well. They also have solar panels on them.
How did you decide on the alternative energies that you are utilizing in your city?
Well, the Mississippi River is flows quickly, so we used an innovative dam that allows the fish and sediments to still pass through while still producing power, because the Mississippi River flows so quickly that you don't need the additional pressure to turn the turbine.
When we went on the field trip, we went to the wastewater treatment plant. How does your city handle wastewater, and where is it located in your city?
It is along these edges over here, and it's about the same as Janesville's, due to the fact that it would be pretty easy to. It's our system that works right now is effective, and there's not many problems with it. So it's pretty much the same.
How about your drinking water? Where do you guys get your drinking water?
They come from reservoirs just outside the city, and we also get only a portion of our supply from the Mississippi River, but most of them come from reservoirs outside of the city.
So is the only transportation then the magnet cars?
They are. The idea of these is the fact that the magnets are pushing the car. This is just the way we could do it to have it move. Along with, we have this Skytram, which is, we would have multiples of these to get to places across the city, which minimizes traffic and air pollution due to these are run by solar panels. Along with the magnet, like I said, the magnet cars go everywhere, and they barely use any power.
So you talked a lot about the housing for the nursing homes.
Yes.
Are there younger things for younger families there also? Is there housing for
That's what the villas are. The villas are for mainly families. It's not really for elderly, but elderly can live there. It's kind of a easy way for people to live. It's kind of like, they're like apartments pretty much.
What was your biggest aha moment when you have to learn? What was the biggest thing as engineers, the biggest problem you had to solve?
Probably the two things was addressing what an easy way for elderly to live and for them to be happy. Oh, should I still?
Yep.
Yeah. To be able to easily get around, have things to do during the day, not be lonely, have tons of things to do. Like our senior center, it's there, but it's not necessarily super easily accessible from like a hospital. So that way, if you do live in the hospital complex, which this is the main hospital, these are all the nursing homes and everything around. Those are where the people, where they live. Anything else you guys want to add?
That's okay. I just wanted to be able to share what.
finally made it to Diodora, the city of the future. I have heard great things about this city and its economy. I have come here to experience the wonders of Diodora and what it has to offer. I might need some assistance, though.
Welcome, traveler, to the GDH, the Grand Diodora Hotel. And doing on this fine day.
I'm doing fine, young whippersnappers. I've come to this jolly old city and decided to stay here for about a week. I've come here to experience the wonders of Diodora, and I've been invested in traveling the world since I was knee-high to a grasshopper.
There are many things to experience here in the city of Diodora, such as our vast range in cultural buildings like Doha Tower, one of the city's main attractions long ago when the economy crashed.
We are proud to present to you our city, as we and the rest of the city have been working hard for many years on improving Diodora's once poor economy.
The thing is, I'm 87 years old, and my brittle skeleton can't take the pressure of walking all around the city, you know? Do you have any age-friendly elements to your city?
Yes, our city is packed full of age-friendly devices that can help you on your way to exploring this treasure of a city.
Hi, may I help you with some of our tourist packages? We have 3 plans for touring around the city. We have the light plan for basic touring, classic plan for the entire city, and the premium plan for included drinks and a visit to Diodora's famous Doha Tower.
Maybe. Let me think about it.
Do you need us to tell you a little about the city first?
Yes, I certainly need some education on the age-friendly elements of this city.
Well, the first thing you need to know about the city is that our main form of transportation is our Papadopoulos. These maglev trains get around the city at a very fast speed of top speed of 300 kilometers an hour, and we're an amazing investment. These trains are run by magnets that support the train in midair. If the train somehow fails, the inner part of the tube is covered in a beanbag-like material that prevents any escalated accidents. These tubes are highly accessible from all parts of the city, with great interconnectivity so your brittle skeleton can take it easy. This project was highly costly but created a widely interconnected transportation system that is eco-friendly and efficient.
The Papadopoulos are accessible to everybody in the city. For a daily pass for the Papadopoulos is $19.99. A weekly pass for the Papadopoulos is $99.99. And a monthly pass would cost $349.99.
Okay, it sounds good, but I still need some convincing to spend that amount of money on touring. Can you tell me more?
Of course. The city is separated into 5 zones: our energy, industrial, middle-aged and youth residential, commercial, and elderly residential.
The commercial zone has a single mall that houses most of local and national businesses. Doha Tower now serves as a tourist attraction, as it is one of the oldest buildings in the city.
The 2 residential areas, middle-aged/youth and elderly, are equipped with state-of-the-art technology that keeps everyone safe.
One of our age-friendly inventions is the Ish, Elderly Assistance Smart Home. It has robots that help around the city so the elderly don't have to strain their bodies. The robots that the Ish has can be turned off if the elderly want to be more independent. If the elderly that is living in the Ish has medications that they need to take, our smart pill bottle reminds them. The floors are made of cork and covered in the softest and most supportive carpet.
The Ish has small apartments surrounding the main building, which are reserved for people that are now just entering hospice or assisted living. The main building of the Ish is an apartment building that houses 83% of our population. The rest live in smaller Ishes that surround the bigger one and have the same technology and equipment.
Well, I may have to stay there for a little while. My old bones will have to rest sometime soon.
Medbots are another age-friendly invention that we as a city have invested in for our population. They help repair blood cells and fight off disease. Before Medbots were made, it took the city a while, but they realized they wanted our population to have a longer lifespan. So they designed Medbots. It took the scientists many tries, but we eventually prevailed and created the Medbot prototype. After we made the prototype, we redesigned and improved it many times.
This is a very dandy invention you have created.
The industrial zone is packed full of high-tech facilities such as our solar panel farm and our Medbot creation buildings. A great high-class job known well around the city is at the Sahara Shipping Company next to the high-tech industrial. They ship products ordered online throughout the city of Diodora and also have a solar panel on the roof.
One of the main power sources for our city is all of our buildings' windows. All of the windows on our buildings are made of transparent solar panels that help power our city. They use TLSC, transparent luminescent solar concentrators, to create energy. These transparent solar panels help keep our city powered.
We also have residential zones that are separated into two areas. The youth and middle-aged area is partially one big apartment building that is filled with 1,500 square feet apartments. Our commercial zone is composed of a huge mega mall and hotels spotted around the city.
I love shopping.
Most citizens use online drone shopping from the Sahara Shipping Company in order to create more jobs for our citizens. We created low-level occupations in the shipping industry.
Well, wow, it certainly seems that Daidara is a developed and innovative city. Can you tell me more about how all this was made? I am undoubtedly intrigued.
The engineers involved with the construction and development of the city are mainly civil, electrical, and computer engineers, some of the most plentiful jobs in the city. There are many other types of engineers involved with the massive projects of our city, but they are less important.
All of this came together because of the engineers use the engineering design process to easily and effectively create the inventions that help our city grow and learn.
After all this amazing information, I'll think that I'll choose the premium plan, Mr. Chan. This city has too much to offer to let up that deal.
Thank you for choosing the premium plan. Your ride will arrive in about 5 seconds. Never mind, it's already here.
Thank you for all the information.
Have a time traveler in the city of Daidara.
How are we paying for everything?
Well, they're
Source of income, all those sorts of
they're
things.
mostly paid by taxes, and since most of our population is high wealth, since this is a very luxury city, just like Dubai and Doha once was, it's back to being mostly luxury. So they pay higher taxes and more money.
And there's also sometimes donations from the higher wealth people to help create the many inventions that cost a lot, that help increase the standard of living for all of our population.
What about drinking water?
We get lots of our drinking water from the ocean. We use a process that takes all the salt out of the water and creates a fresh, clean drinking water for our entire population.
And to also add more water, we also reuse water with the filtration system that is 100%, 99.99% pure for the water that comes out of everyone's houses.
You guys handle the stormwater runoff?
Well, I think, wasn't this James? This is the main station? No? I think it's the main station. I think mine was the residential.
We have many pipes that take all the storm water and put it into a filtration system that helps clean that out too, so we can get even more clean drinking water.
What garbage or waste?
Most of the garbage is recycled, and most of our products are recyclable, and the garbage that does come is created into compost to help our gardens grow.
The toughest question you had to figure out as you made your model that what was your aha moment when you had to really figure out what you wanted to do? Where did you have to collaborate the most?
Was it our moving parts?
I think it was our moving part because we spent like 3 or 4 days trying to figure out how to get it all, and one day it broke, so we had to spend the last day working really hard to fix it. There are many parks and playgrounds scattered around the city that keep them entertained and have happiness.
And also there's movies and there's the internet. So just putting that there. I know it's kind of obvious, but.
Were there any trade-offs that you had to make?
So many.
Can you just describe one of them?
So for the Papadopolis, we had to convince our citizens to convert from using fossil fuels to get the maglev train system all around the city. One of our trade-offs was that a lot of citizens were unhappy because they had to pay a lot of taxes to fix it. But in return, we created many parks and playgrounds and walkways to help keep them happier.
And it's also 100% run on clean energy from our windows and our solar panels and our tidal power plants. So no fossil fuels or burning of any type.
What did you learn about the engineering design process?
We learned the engineering design process, the design.
We learned that you had to have many tries, redo, relearn, fix all the mistakes that you made, which was mostly on the moving part. So.
Are there any other questions?
Are there any other forms of transportation other than your kilometers per hour system?
Not really.
There's walking if like you
Yeah.
want to walk from the park to your house, I guess.
And in other parts of the city where there aren't trains, there's also maglev cars that have the same functions as the trains.
All right, gentlemen.
Thank you.
There are no good elderly homes for me to stay in. Oh, hey guys, do you have any suggestions on where I should move to?
Sure. Do you have anything specific you're looking for?
Well, I want a place that has efficient transportation and is pollution free. I want a nice elderly home that can take care of me when I get very old.
Pollution these days is getting really bad.
Transportation is pretty horrible too, with cramped spaces and smelly people.
Yeah, that's true in the old city I lived in.
That's all been fixed in Hemsville, Pennsylvania. So come visit. There are many ways to get around the city, including the solar bullet train and the safe drive car. Plus, there is little to no pollution.
What is the solar bullet train and what is the safe drive car?
The solar bullet train is a bullet train that is fully solar powered.
What about at night? Does it still work then?
Yes, it does still work because there is a solar-powered battery system that stores solar power in the day to use during the night.
We saw many transportation problems, so we fixed them. The solar bullet train is their most innovative way to get around the city. We thought of many prototypes, and we saw that this was the best and most effective mode of transportation.
There's a trade-off though. Sometimes when it's cloudy and it doesn't work, so we have to put the backup battery on. Bad thing is that it takes a while for the battery to turn on, so that can mess up the schedule times.
That sounds nice. So what is the safe drive car?
The safe drive car is basically an electric self-driving car made for elderly people, but anyone can own or use one. And if you don't want to buy one, there are safe drive taxis where anyone can get a ride to anywhere around the city.
Then how does it not run out of battery?
After the purchase of your car, our engineering team will install a charger in your garage with a simple, easy process.
What if it runs out of battery while you're driving?
Our backup battery system can be purchased with the car for an amazingly low price. Simply call the dealership and one of our drivers will come and deliver battery to you.
Hemsville sounds accessible, but what about old people like me? How can I be sure that in Hemsville I can get good services and live a longer life?
Here there are many elderly homes with hospitals near them, so you can get there quickly and easily if you have an appointment or sick.
Also, there's Hems Health, which helps you make healthcare affordable for elderly people over 65.
That sounds really great. Hems Health sounds like a great idea.
It really is. I live a comfortable life and I don't have to worry about anything.
I mean, you should have responsibilities, but in Hemsville, it takes care of so much for you that you don't really have that much stress.
And our city is set up great. Everything in a reasonable spot. Take a look at our model.
That looks so cool. I really like where you put everything. Hey, there's a lake. Can I live there?
The lake is lined with condos, and if you like fishing, you can rent a boat.
Nice. That's probably where I'm going to live. I love fishing and also riding on boats. Do you guys have any tourist attractions?
Tourism is my favorite way to build the economy.
We have a multi-use sports stadium, botanical gardens, and an amusement park that will help us with our economy and tourism.
Our stadium houses the Hemsville Mountain Lions, an NBA team, and the Hemsville Hornets, the college football team.
We also have a strip mall where you can buy pretty much anything you need.
And what about these? What are those?
This is our residential zone. These are houses, apartments, and condos. This is all located in this zone.
And this is the commercial zone. There are restaurants, businesses, stores, and skyscrapers all in the commercial areas.
And on the right side of the model is the industrial zones. There's an Apple factory, a Pringles factory, and an M&M factory. There are also wind and solar plants in this zone.
Wow, that sounds great. I like where you put all the zones. Do you have any other things that can help me live a better and longer life?
Our assisted living program helps elderly people when they are very sick or need help. We can send out a person to help them at their house rather than having them at an elderly home or hospital because many of them don't like that atmosphere. So we try to make them feel more comfortable by sending the help to them.
Oh, that sounds great. I thought I could only live at an elderly home to be taken care of, but that sounds even better.
We also have a multi-use kids sports stadium where kids can play basketball, baseball, football, and much more. It helps kids get out and play, and it helps them get their daily exercise needs.
Are there any more good things for kids? Because I might bring my grandkids to Hemsville too.
There are a good education program in Hemsville. We have 20 elementary schools, 10 middle schools, and 5 high schools.
We have a program called Kids for Learning, and it helps kids personalize their learning and go at their own pace. It helps them become smarter and gives them the responsibility to build their confidence.
Wow, this city sounds great for everyone, including children and elderly people.
That's true. This is why we have so many people in our city and so few that leave.
But our city isn't just age-friendly. We're also very eco-friendly.
We have many different ways to help the earth. One way is collecting gases from the dump. This dome helps collect the harmful gases and produce in the dump and then decomposes them.
Also, the entire city is wind and solar powered. We have many wind plants, but this is the main one with 2 large mills. We also have the main solar plant with many solar panels where people can take a tour of the plant. Oh.
That's really cool. I made the decision. I'm moving to Hemsville and bringing my kids, grandkids, and even great-grandkids. Thanks for helping me choose where to move to.
No problem, sir. Well, industrial zones we wanted to keep by like all the big places where we think we'll have all the tourists, and we kind of wanted to have the residentials out more because we don't want it to be jam-packed all the time.
We also wanted to make sure we didn't have industrial right next to the residential.
You could talk about your sources of income or your money flow. Where did that come from?
We fund city operations with taxes. We have a 6% sales tax. And we added this amount of sales tax so we can make enough money and we can grow and make the city better.
So would I be correct in saying that your taxes and your tourism build your economy?
Yes.
Is the only mode of transportation the magnet train?
No, we also have the electric taxis, the self-driving taxis that drive around and take people places within city limits.
So individuals don't have their own.
No.
You can.
You can, but you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys discuss the drinking water, how you are you taking of that, and then how you treat the wastewater in your city?
The wastewater, we usually like, cause it's out further in like the city, cause this is not the whole city, and we got the river, and that really just goes through those pipes, and it goes to the sewage treatment plant, where they clean out all the bacteria and everything, and serves back out to people.
Anyone want to answer that?
I think that the Hemsell Stadium was an innovative idea because it could be used for many sports, and the kids stadium could also be used for many sports.
Can you talk about the Kids for Learning program?
Yeah, so it is kind of a personalized learning where they could go into school and they kind of have their own binder. They're kind of just like set into groups, and they're all about the same age usually, but they're kind of at different stages in their learning, and sometimes if someone gets way ahead, we might switch them into a different group. And so they can pretty much decide how fast or how slow they want. They get a lot of responsibility with that, and we see that building confidence in them to kind of, yeah, make life easier.
Maybe you talk about your mode of transportation, so your mode when it breaks down, what is it? What happens?
Okay. When it breaks down, we, I guess, bring out a bunch of the safe drive cars, and we just kind of sit at the stops and just kind of drive around, making sure everyone can get where they want to go, and we get it fixed as soon as possible. And if it's electricity, we have a plant where we store up a bunch of extra electricity for things like that.
Can you talk about any trade-offs that you had to make?
Yeah.
So the solar train, if it's a cloudy day, it might not work because the solar power is gone. So you'll have to turn on a backup battery with stored solar power, and it can take a few minutes to like maybe 10 minutes, which can affect the schedule times. So that's one of the trade-offs.
How does your city encourage seniors to be active and
I think I had that. We have lots of different things for them to do. We have the elevator, or the elderly home. We have lots of moving walkways and elevators and things that make it very easy for them to get around. I think sometimes the biggest hindrance for them is not being able to get there without it being a big deal and having trouble with that. So. Oh boy, I hope this bus comes soon. I haven't seen my niece in a couple months now, and I'm getting really lonely. Oh, here it comes. I hope that I can finally sit down.
Welcome aboard.
Hi, sir. I can't seem to fit my walker through the door. Can you help me?
Sure. There's no place to sit, so you'll have to stand right here.
Okay. I thought that he would have asked a younger person to stand up, but I guess not. Not much respect towards older people these days in 2017.
Here, you can take my spot.
Oh, thank you, child. 10 minutes later.
Hi, Mabel. Welcome to North Morocco. I'm an engineer who helped build this new and improved city. Building a city involves many engineers. For example, you would need a city planning engineer, transportation engineers, zoning engineers, and etc. to build a wonderful city like ours. Where am I? We have beautiful weather all year long, numerous hills, orchards, and forests. 2 million people live here, and they enjoy every ounce of this wonderful city.
Fezdom? Don't you mean Fez?
Nope, we decided to change the name after we renovated it. Here's Mayor Carbietta to help me tell you about this amazing city.
Hi, welcome to my city. Do you have any questions before we start?
Why the hippity hopper am I here?
Well, back in 2017, many seniors had problems with transportation, safety, and most importantly, loneliness. So we wanted to show you this age-friendly model of Fezdom to see what you, a senior, think of it.
Any more questions?
Yeah, why are there 2 layers?
Good question. When we assessed the data of elderly transportation problems, we designed Underbus, which is a public transportation system that uses underground buses that are more age-friendly than the average bus.
Whoa, cool, a moving part. What other transportation is there in Fezdom?
Our other forms of transportation are Gorbs and Elder Pickup. Gorbs are similar to taxis, but it's safer and more enjoyable for all ages.
What does it look like?
This is what it looks like. It's a circular object vehicle that is made of bulletproof glass, and it seats up to 6 people with wheelchair accessibility. You can drive it or it can be autonomous. And like our underbuses, Gorbs have Wi-Fi,
Seat warmers and chairlifty thingies.
Good listening. It runs on a train track and is charged by solar energy. We have day Gorbs that charge at night and vice versa for the night Gorbs.
Coolio. What about Elder Pickup? What's that?
Elder Pickup is kind of like Uber or Lyft, but more innovative and safer.
Oh, I've heard of Uber and Lyft. My niece was talking about them last week. They're both transportation systems that citizens can use to get around. You go into the app and request a ride. Then the driver picks you up. What's so futuristic about Elder Pickup?
It's futuristic because it's for elderly citizens only. And, and it has security cameras in the back, which means it's safer than Uber and Lyft.
That sounds awesome. What other things in Fezdom make it age-friendly?
We don't want anyone to be unhappy. And in 2017, loneliness was the biggest problem among seniors. So we invented Moto. He is voice activated, and you can turn him on and off for security and privacy.
Moto can show you.
Holy cow! Moto Man is moving! How did you do that?
Excellent question. We had a motor that was spinning too fast, and we wanted to add a switch to change the directions when we felt like it. We decided to use the motor off of an old Hexbug toy. We had to combine the battery pack with the motor by...
Hold on. Basically, you soldered the wires to a switch that was connected to the motor to make it move both ways.
You really know your stuff. Anyway, Moto can show you what your friends or family are talking about, remind you to take your medicine or go to the doctor, and it even has a security system.
Wait, hold on. This is nifty and all, but what if someone becomes too attached to Moto and refuses to leave their home?
We created senior neighborhoods for that. Senior neighborhoods are one-story homes that are reserved for elderly citizens surrounding a senior center. Senior centers are where seniors and other citizens as well can do numerous activities to stay happy, active, and independent. If accidents happen, there is a small hospital that can treat anybody who needs it.
This city just keeps on getting better and better. What's the point of these?
They're just simple vertical gardens that are used to limit space and enhance agriculture. Nothing too fancy, but they get the job done.
Oh my, this all looks very nice, but what do you use for energy?
We use 100% renewable resources, which comes from solar and wind, as you can see here and here.
Good, because fossil fuels are really bad for the environment, and back in 2017, we were afraid of running out of them. But now it's fine.
You're exactly right, Mabel.
Thanks. It looks like you used the engineering design process to build most of this. Am I correct?
Right again. First, we researched innovative and futuristic age-friendly infrastructures to put in our city. Secondly, we planned everything out to scale, which is 1 inch equals 20 feet. On a rough draft paper the size of the acrylic glass you see here.
Neato. It's a great plan, but how did you afford all of this?
Well, we had to make a few trade-offs. One thing we did was trade the dying cow skins industry to Asia for funding for GORBs. Then we use the money we get from transportation fees to fund Moto and other utilities.
So Mabel, now that we've shown you our city, can we get some of your input on it?
Well, sure. For starters, I really like all the environmental friendly stuff you added into your city, like vertical gardens and renewable resources. I also really enjoyed your 3 new forms of transportation.
We're glad you like it. Yeah, that was the ending.
So is this just an elderly community then?
No, anyone can live here. These right here are elderly homes, and then this is a senior center, but all homes outside of here can be used for anyone. And then the apartments that you see over there can also be used for anyone.
Okay, so Moto is like a little robot that you can have in your home, and he can help you with knowing like, oh, I have an appointment at 6 o'clock on Sunday, or he can just keep you company because he has little cheesy jokes wired into his system to improve your mood if you're feeling down. He's just used to help with loneliness, really, and no, this is just Moto Incorporated, so this is where they sell him.
We have a water and waste treatment system over here, and we have this plan. It's called RRR, which is an acronym for Recycle, Refine, and Reuse. And in that, we treat the water, and if we have any waste that can't be recycled, then we refine it so it can be recycled. And if it can't, then we make it into compost to use for our vertical gardens. But other than that, the water is treated and cleaned. We get the water from the Fesdom River, and we get it from the Fesdom River. Mhm. Like I said, we have well, to pick it up, well, there's pipes and it plumbing everywhere, and it goes into this waste and water treatment systems. And like I said, we have an acronym called RRR, which is recycled, refine. Yeah, we recycle that, and if it can't be recycled, then we try and refine it as much as we can. But if it can't, then we use it for compost for our vertical gardens. Any other questions? Like we said, we traded the dyeing cow skins industry. It was a thing that FESDM was famous for in 2017, but it polluted the river and it smelled really bad because it was in the middle of a bunch of commercial zones. So we changed that to have a Gorb charging station to charge all of our Gorbs.
To help fund for making moto and other utilities in our city and public services.
There are ramps and exits scattered throughout the city every so much. And there are these ramp-like, treadmill-like things that help senior citizens that have walkers, so the walker will take it down for them just so that it's not a big trouble.
And we also have like a ramp so people with wheelchairs can get down there. And we know that elderly citizens don't really like stairs, so we have chair lifts on the treadmill like ramps to take your walker down onto the street, and that also works for getting it back up into the.
Last question, are you concerned with your circular transportation and having bulletproof glass in it? Are you concerned that your community members would be, or community members that would want to come to Fresno would be concerned if these are traveling around the neighborhood with bulletproof glass out?
We don't anticipate it, but
So back in 2017, Fez was really known for like crime. You could not go anywhere alone. You had to travel in big groups, and even then you weren't safe. So we're not really, like Steve said, anticipating it. Okay. But if it does happen, we want to be prepared.
Gotcha.
Careful there, dude. Other on, the other on. I hope this city is better than the last city I resided in.
Why did you decide you wanted to move?
Well, first of all, the last city I was in was all polluted. Also, I have heard many rumors about Rio. I was wondering if they were true.
Oh, that makes sense. Were they positive or negative rumors?
They were all very positive rumors about your city, don't worry.
Oh, that's good. Anyway, this is the next house. I hope it is to your liking.
This looks like a nice house, but before we explore this house further, I have a few questions about the area.
I will try to answer as many of them to the best of my ability.
Alright. What modes of transport are available to the people living here? It is a huge part of where I will choose to live in the city.
Oh, that's an easy question. In our city, transportation is mainly focused on magnets, which if we put magnets under the road and put magnets under a car, for example, they will repulse each other, keeping the car suspended in midair, able to move quickly without polluting air or water.
That's cool. The last city I was in was terrible about that. On the way to this house, there were some tall buildings with sidewalks that, I'm guessing, were suspended by magnets as well. What was that about?
Ah, yes. Those are our walkways. They are for tourists and for the employees, so they can get from building to building safer and faster.
But that's actually a good idea. How about the education system? I plan to get a degree when I move here.
The education system is built where all the schools are converged into one building to help with convenience, and people outside their range of school will be allowed to use public transport to school for free. Colleges are scattered around the city with the same promise to people outside their range.
What is your city's main power sources and how do you prevent pollution?
Our city's main power sources are solar, wind, and hydraulic. They are renewable energy resources, so they prevent pollution from growing worse. We will also have a lot of green space for the citizens to use. Willow. Willow. She is a famous engineer who works in our city. She will be able to answer most questions you might have that I cannot answer.
Hi, Willow. Nice to meet you. What factors did you consider while laying out the zones in your city?
That is an interesting question. We considered how close or far away each of the zones needed to be to each other. Like how the residential should be closer to the commercial because of the people's need to buy food, and how industrial should be farther away from the residential because of the noise it produces would distort with people's sleep schedules.
Though most of the industrial buildings are smaller and make less noise, would you like to know about age-friendly elements of our city?
Yes, please. My mother and father are planning to live here as well.
Our city has a large senior center for the seniors in our city. It is near the residential area without being too far away from the commercial zone, fire, police stations, and the hospital.
Yes, it was created with 5 stories that have everything from a small gym to technology classes, allowing our seniors to stay healthy and keep up with the latest technology. It was also placed close to the park so they could go almost any time they want to get fresher air and experience nature.
Hey, Ignacio, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. What are you guys talking about?
Ivy is a potential citizen who is asking about the city. She might have some questions for you.
Oh, nice to meet you, and feel free to ask as many questions as you like.
Nice to meet you as well. Can you describe the education system in your city further?
Sure. The city's education system is a unique one indeed. The school is a large yellow building near the middle of the city. It holds all of the city's schoolers and focuses not only on the core subjects, but it also focuses on creativity and cooperation. Also, you don't just sit in the classroom for 7 hours straight. If it is a beautiful day outside, which it usually is, the teachers go outside to the park and teach you out there.
This allows students to have a successful education and allows them access to a variety of different jobs in the city.
That sounds great for the students. Can you please tell me about the jobs available? I need a new job if I move here.
Of course, there are the standard issued jobs such as teacher, business owner, and business employee, but there are also engineering jobs like mine. I'm a magnetic engineer, so I focus mainly on the magnetic transportation problems that show up. There are also other engineers too, like the hydraulic engineers that work on projects in our hydraulic powered areas. There's even a facility on the beach that powers half our city using them. And of course, the standard civil engineers needed for every city.
Oh, there are a lot of engineers used here, but I was more thinking of other jobs pertaining to health.
I can help you with that. I'm also searching for a job in that field as well. There are many different jobs that are related to each other in that field. You can be one of the nurses or doctors in a hospital, or a home caretaker, which is someone who stays home with the people who are a greater distance away from the hospital. Also, one of the main jobs in that field is a nursing home worker. They work in the nursing home that was previously mentioned to help our seniors keep up with the rest of society and keep them safe.
Alright, well thank you for answering a few questions I had about the city. Also, Ignacio, I'll be sure to get back to you about the house. Bye guys.
Bye, hope you decide to come live with us in the city. I have to get to work now.
Oh no, I gotta get to class. Bye.
I hope that you like the city. Have a nice day.
So can you talk about that?
Yeah, there's like, we didn't really know how to like actually make it like this, but they're like floating sidewalks so that there's not as many like accidents with like cars and stuff, so that it's not disrupting like the high populated area or like this area.
Okay.
If you guys could sum it up, what were a couple of the key issues that you guys had to address related to the elderly population in the city?
Definitely the proximity to like the hospital and the police station and all that, and definitely the park because it helps them like psychologize too.
This is nursing home.
So we had to place it in the area that was around all those places.
This is the hospital, this is the fire station, this is the police station, we're all kind of surrounding them.
What's the most futuristic of Rio that you guys are proud about?
Probably the magnets under the road with cars.
Any issues with those you anticipate?
Most likely how, wait, are you talking about the magnet or just
The magnet.
Well, most likely how to stop the like once you're in the air, and the solution that we had to that was to just like flip over the magnet because then it connects to the road easier. And also then cars can't roll away and all that stuff that sometimes happens.
If they go off the tracks, there's going to be the magnets under there. If they go off of the roads, then there's going to be no magnets there and they won't be able to move, so they'll just stop and there won't be as many like off-road accidents.
You mentioned there was a facility on the beach that generated power. Can you talk a little bit how that works?
Kind of like the normal hydraulic dam where it uses the water moving and the tides coming in and out to move the motor and then produce electricity that powers most of the city.
There's also a solar, this is supposed to represent solar panels on top of the building, just kind of two in one.
The schools, you mentioned all the grades are in one building. Can you talk a little bit more about the school?
School.
Well, all the grades except for college is in here because it's such a big building. It holds about how many children? A lot of children.
A lot of children.
And many people do go up to be teachers in this area. So that makes them good jobs. So just add on to it. Well, it helps with convenience mostly. So like, and also in the thing there's different grade levels, and we kind of wanted to make it in more detail. So like in each grade level there's the lower and the middle, higher. So each people can learn about their own kids.
Okay. What challenges did you have designing this?
Most likely would have put all of like the zones.
Yeah, just looking at everything, they know what to put at first. How we got the roads, they know how to put like the residential and the commercial, industrial everywhere. So, well, yeah, we just kind of, that was one of the biggest challenges.
How did the engineering design process help you tackle some of those challenges?
Well, mainly like the focusing on the problem, since normally we kind of are scatterbrained and all that. It helped us focus on one problem at a time and find solutions out of it.
Good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
doesn't look like the Bahamas. I knew I should have taken that left turn at Albuquerque.
Welcome to Santabellum, a city of inclusivity for all ages.
To replace it with our new grand, green, and growing city, Santabellum.
So where can I find a good burger around here?
The city of Santabellum has completely converted to a diet of pescatarian, which means that we only rely on fish and plants. Being next to the Santabellum Bay means that we have fish readily available to us, and our vertical gardens here make it easy to get vegetables and fruits.
Do you know how long you are going to be staying? Are you looking into any new job opportunities?
I'll be moving in, but I think I'm in the wrong section of the world. There are a multitude of job openings in Santabellum. You can monitor the work of robots in our factories, or if you don't want to take that route, you can tend to our vertical gardens. Or you can even work at one of the renewable resource collection buildings. Don't forget the work of people at our restaurants, museums, and theaters. It's pretty confusing. How do you know everything is?
The city is easily memorized after you've been here for some time. The mayors of Santabellum took a lot of time making sure that the zones were placed in the best possible way. Things like making sure that there was some space between the industrial and residential, making sure that it was fast and easy to get from zone to zone, and allowing that there was room for all 4 residential zones. Yes, 4. These groups are based on the general age and marital status of the groups. The groups are the elderly, the single, the families, and the married with no children. There is one section for each type of person. Our buildings are also multi-use, and having vertical gardens allows for more food, as we said before. We encourage growing our own food and keeping a large amount of green space in our city.
How do you pay for all this? I mean, all this is so futuristic looking, and it looks like it would take a lot of time and money.
Well, you see, payment for these projects didn't come at us at all one time. City operations were and are funded by tax money, fundraisers such as color runs, and exporting our projects and donations from generous cities and brands.
Oh, by the way, my grandma's supposed to be coming over later this month. After I've moved in and made enough money from working, how can I be sure she'll be happy here? You can be sure that your grandmother will be happy here. Our Elder Assistance Program, also known as EAP, helps seniors who are having trouble living alone. Each resident has one assigned guide who can help them when needed. The EAP building consists of mostly apartments for its senior residents, all of which are handicap accessible and barrier-free. In addition, she'll have access to easy meals and health care. Don't forget, your grandmother can also take a short walk to the granny trams to the nearby senior center. The senior center includes access to many engaging activities. Santabellum also has an ordinance so that technology used in the city must meet age-friendly qualifications, so your grandmother can use it with ease. That's cool and all, but how is she supposed to get around? I mean, she's not the most mobile person anymore.
Santabellum has encouraged the independence of the elderly, like your grandmother, by using our developed transportation systems called sky buses or granny trams. Granny trams are meant for Santabellum's elderly. They are slower, smaller, and lower to the ground than our sky buses. The drop-off locations also are more focused towards the elderly's needs. Besides, with all of these attractive activities like museums and senior center, and why would she stay inside?
So wait, why did you guys focus on transportation?
Well, you see, there are multiple reasons for the mayor's focus on different means of transportation. People felt that the transportation was unsafe and caused people like the elderly to feel like they were stuck in their houses and completely dependent transportation-wise. Even though it took many years to get work started on this important idea, once it was complete, there was an immediate change in the happiness of New York citizens.
Speaking of happiness, what happens if I decide to start a family? Will they be safe? Will they be happy? Will they be able to get a good education?
Well, the education system in our city consists of 2 simple styles of schools, primary and secondary schools. Primary schools consist of K through 7th, and secondary schools consist of 8th through 12th. And due to the lack of colleges in our city, we offer out scholarships to the highest graded kids in our school systems every year. Our city also supports a healthy lifestyle by supporting healthy living, and our diet also provides healthy fruits and vegetables that are much more healthy and better for your life than the junk food of the past.
Will they be exposed to many diverse cultures?
Of course! It is very important for a city like Santabellum to have a diverse population of citizens. Santabellum has a large mixture of unique religions, ideas, and dreams, so don't worry about not being exposed to many cultures.
Well, I better get going. Can I see a map or something? Sure, here you go. I hope you enjoy living in Santabellum. Bye.
Thanks to these wonderful aspects of our city, Santabellum, we have brought in more and more residents and tourists. Our infrastructure for tourism includes sculpture gardens, the Golden Tree Forest, and the Museum of History and of the Arts. We also have various Zen gardens. These gardens are a piece of quiet and free access to the internet. These wonderful attractions cause that tourism powers our economy. In addition, our factories, plants, and warehouses provide many jobs to our citizens.
As a plus to our age-friendly city, both the mentally and physically disabled are able to live in the assisted living or AP buildings. This ensures 24/7 access to RNs and places to those who need it in the who live in the closest proximity to the hospitals.
Not to mention that the sky buses will provide efficient transportation even to those who are not senior citizens. Even school children can use the sky bus system to go to school, and the granny trams can be used by pregnant or disabled citizens for a more safe option of transportation, and everyone benefits from the system.
Another plus is that our city prevents pollution in many ways. Obviously, we have green energy sources in wind, hydrodynamics in the bay, and solar power. We also use our vertical gardens as a way to prevent ground pollution and atmospheric pollution.
With all of the groundbreaking technology involved, engineers have worked very hard to create the Santabellum of today. Civil, food, environmental, sales, commercial, electric, transportation, and biosystem engineers were only a few of the numerous engineers involved in the creation of our city.
Although with the creation of sky buses, some things had to be sacrificed. People may not have accepted only exiting at charging stations. Unlike cars, something our city has lost. Some people have also been concerned with the safety of our transportation, which has been combated by equipping seatbelts, senior-friendly seating, and emergency exits. Some citizens are also frustrated by the wait for entering a sky bus, so we have kept some roads for emergency vehicles and industrial workers. Still, we hope that our losses are overcome by our successes.
We used the engineer and design process when creating our transportation system. We identified the problem that not all ages had easy access to all of the city. There's also the fact that not all elderly individuals felt comfortable with going at the high speeds and heights of our sky buses. After identifying the problem with transportation, we looked into places like Rio de Janeiro, who had placed similar trams and put our own age-friendly spin on it, as said before. When these transportation buses worked, we decided to add them as a key solution to our project. Welcome to Santabellum, a home for all.
We have like fun.
Did you say we don't need the mic? Yeah. Okay.
Can you talk about water?
I can talk about water. We are close to the Santabellum Bay, we weren't able to feature this in our screenshot of the city. But using the new Sawyer system, which I have had personal experience with, I can tell that it would be functional to
filter mass amounts of water for our city.
Did you say that the mayors designed the layout of the city, or the?
We were considered mayors, so yes, we designed the layout of the city.
And how did the engineering design process help you design your city?
Well, we spent quite some time in social studies looking at different cities and thinking of other ideas, and in language arts we had packets and we researched all these different solutions to problems, and then we went and decided to put our own spin on them to make them more age-friendly and better for the environment.
Your modes of transportation are the sky trans, and then you had granny trans?
We have skies.
So can you talk a little bit about that? A little more?
I'll do it. So the granny trams are an easier way for elderly citizens who do not want to take the higher sky buses who have some more barriers, such as, like, for example, I already said this, but being higher and not being as easily accessible. So that's why we have two different versions. And the granny trams have more, their stops are more focused on the needs of the elderly. So we wouldn't have a sky bus going to the EAP building, but we would have a granny tram going to the EAP building.
Is there a fee?
A fee? No. Because the taxes. And also, since we have our 4 residential zones, we only focus on the granny trams in some parts. So, like, we don't have a granny tram going over here because that is only one part of the zone. So we only focus on what the elderly spaces is.
What were some trade-offs that you had to make?
Well, some trade-offs that we had to make were the loss of being able to stop and get out wherever you want, because obviously the sky buses at Granite Trams only stop at certain places, so you can't do that, and the roads are used for emergency vehicles and industrial workers who need to get to certain places that might not be able to be used with the sky bus or Granite Trams. And also the fact that some people might have been concerned with the safety of it because it's unknown. So some precautionary measures had to be put in place to make people feel like it was safe and maybe even safer than the type of transportation they were used to, such as cars with a lock of also.
Mr. Lemire is concerned about not being able to get a hamburger in your city. What are you going to do to help him out?
Well, veggie burgers and flavorings. Everything is made out of snacks, no meat, which is not
Fish. We are
well,
pescatarian.
Fish too. There are also fish burgers.
We have fish tacos. And also technologies today are being developed so that veggie burgers can taste exactly like regular burgers and you won't even notice them.
So you're saying Mr. Lemire should go on a diet?
Of course not. What?
What?
It helps him. It helps
Checking my health.
everybody in our city become more healthy and
Very good.
yeah,
Excellent.
more active.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
It's over.
Great job.
I've been here for like 3 hours. You guys have anything else? You guys done?